We're continuing the previous session, Central Concepts of Automata Theory. In the last class, we discussed about alphabets, strings and languages. So the brief alphabet, you're denoting with a symbol called S. It's a sequence of symbols 0, 1. And from the alphabets, we are generating the strings. It is the combination of the alphabets 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0. These are all the strings, and the combination of the sequence of these strings, we'll call it as the languages. So different properties of the languages and all that we discussed in the previous class, and some of the additional properties also there. The additional properties we will discuss now. So you can see the problem. So the fourth concept you're having, problem. So what is problem? So when coming to the finite automata, a problem is the question of deciding whether a given string is a member of particular language or not. Means you are going to be identifying a problem. If suppose they are given any problem in finite automata, you need to decide that the finite automata, you are having alphabets, you are having string and you are having language. You are going to be deciding whatever the string you are generated here, whether this string is existed in the language or not. The string generated from the alphabets. So having a sequence of steps, having alphabet, from the alphabet you are generating a string, from the string you are generating a language. So whenever you are going to be doing this, now the generated string or whatever the input string you are given, that should be the member of the class. Means you can say that it is a subset of the string. So if my word is W and the language is L, so the W it should be subset or equals to the particular language. So you can see some of the examples we are here, and you can see the second one also. And the sigma is an alphabet and L is a language, then the W it should include in sigma star, including null. You are going to be using sigma star. In previous class that you will call it as in Kleene closure. Sigma star equals to null u to the power 0 union u to the power 1 union sigma to the power 2. That all you will represent it as the particular word is existed in the language or not. So when coming to the language examples, you can see the problems you are decided. So the language L equals to, here the language L equals to 0 to the power n, 1 to the power n, n greater than or equals to 1. So how to represent this language, that we will see after the discussion of this example. So here a language, so I need to decide that. So I am having a language L, I am having a language L. From this language, now I need to decide that my string or word, that will represent it as a W, my string or word, whether it is existed in a language or not. So when coming to the different possibilities, so they are given a 0 to the power 1, 1 to the power n. So you can see 0 to the power n, 1 to the power n. This means you cannot call it as a comma. 0 to the power n, 1 to the power n. So n greater than 1. So n should be greater than 1. You can take from 2. So I am taking first n equals to 2. We will consider n equals to 2. So 0 to the power 2 means 2 zeros followed by 2 ones. If I am taking, if suppose it is n greater than or equals to 0, so n equals to 1, so I am taking 0, 0, means it's not 0, 0, it's 0, 1. You are taking as a 0, 1, as a 0, 1. n equals to 2, this is n equals to 2, 0 to the power 2 means 2 zeros and 2 ones. When n equals to 3, 3 zeros and then 3 ones. When n equals to 4, you can take 4 zeros and you are taking 4 ones. This is n equals to 4. So these are all the possible combination of the words. So the language you can define with the possibilities. So even these are all the things you have generated the word from the string. So now you can go the first string 0 1 and w equals to 0 1. So this 0 1, I need to see that whether this problem means this string is a substring of the particular language or not. So 0 1, when I'm taking n equals to 1, so you are having a 0 1, so it is existed in a language. And second 0 0 1, w1 equals to 0 0 1, so you cannot say that it is not existed in a language, because here n greater than or equals to 1 means there should be a equal number of zeros and there should be a equal number of ones. So that you cannot call the particular string belongs to the language. And coming to the w2, 0 0 1 1, the 0 0 1 1, this is existed in the particular language because I'm having 2 zeros and 2 ones. You are having the equal number of zeros and you are having the equal number of ones. You have the equal number of zeros and you are having the equal number of ones. So that you are going to be, whenever you are saying it a problem, means you are going to be deciding, the question you need to get is that we are going to be deciding whether a given string is the member of the particular language or not. That you are going to be represented by using the language problem. So you can see the formal way of defining the language. So how to represent the particular language in a formal way. So any of the language, you may take any of the language. In general, the language will be denoted like this: w / something about w. So it's a very important to understand any of the formal languages, or you may denote any of the finite automata statements. The understanding of the formal way of defining the language is very important. You are representing w / something about the w. The something, it's nothing but a condition, or it may be a constraint, or it may be a anything. So you can see the examples here, w / so the expression you read is the set of words w, the set of words w such that, so whatever you are saying about this, that will followed in the particular word. So you are saying that you are giving the representation. So here I am having w and I am saying something about the w. So you can go through the example so that you can get the clear, you can have the clear idea on that. So you can see the first example, w / w consists of equal number of zeros and ones. So that's what the example we have gone through the example in the previous slide. W / w consists of the equal number of zeros and ones. So equal number of zeros, so you can take equal number of 0 0 0 1 1 0 1. This is the first string, second string. Next you can take 3 zeros, 3 ones. So w should satisfy this condition. You generated 3 strings, so but these 3 strings are representing here. So this is what something about w you want to say. So I am saying about w consists of equal number of zeros and equal number of ones. Equal 2 zeros and 2 ones, 3 zeros, 3 ones, 1 0 1 1. So this is the first example. And coming to the second example, w/w is a binary integer that is prime. So you are taking the prime values. So binary integer, so it's a, you know about the binary number, it's a combination of zeros and ones. So it's a binary integer, it should be the prime number. So you all know that the prime number 1, 2, 3, 5, 7 and so on. So the 1 should represent in the form of a binary 0 0. 2 should be represent in the form of a binary format 1 0, means the W is an C and this is a W. The word you are saying about this is this. And coming to the third example, w/w is syntactically correct C program. Syntactically correct C program means whatever the syntax representations are there in C programming, means you may take any of the keyword, you may take any word W, the W should represent syntactically correct. You know that the syntax. So I am taking the printf syntax. So I can write printf and I am writing this is testing, means you need to check a formal representation of how you are defining any of the statement which is correct in the form of a syntax in C program. So I am writing printf open braces and colon, this is testing, I close the braces and I given a semicolon. In the same way, if suppose I am writing a wrong syntax, let us see, I am saying printf, I am not writing anything and I am keeping like this. So now this W is not belongs to, means the word represented here, it is not belongs to the language. That's how we are going to be using this finite automata in programming languages and all. So here the W, the condition they are given here, it is syntactically correct C program. It should be a syntactically correct C program. So I need to see printf, you should have braces. Even though you may print or you may not print, you need to represent in the columns. Because I am not included anything, so I am going to be generating, it's generating in the word, it is not belongs to the language. So you can take any of the keywords 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are whatever the number of keywords you are represented, these are all keywords you are checking in the form of syntax, and at later you are going to be identifying whether it is true or not. So that's the formal way of defining the finite automata. This is very important thing. So whenever you are going to be finding any of the finite automatas or any other languages, the basic concept to have the confidence, yes, I can design some language, means you need to have the clarity on this w/something about W. So I need to say my word, it is belongs to the language and satisfying my condition, then the machine I am designing is true machine, means I am deciding it is a true machine. Got it? So this is the way of representation. You can see some of the examples here in how many ways you're representing the conditions. Some more examples for your clarification. You can have the first one 0 to the power n, 1 to the power n slash n greater than or equals to 1. So you can see this is W and this is something about W. This is something about W. So when coming to the read statement, you have to read that the set of 0 to the n, the set of zeros to the n, the 1 to the n such that n is greater than or equals to 1. N is greater than or equals to 1. So this language consists of the strings. So you can see the string n greater than or equals to 1. So you can take n equals to 1, you can take n equals to 2, you can take n equals to 3. So you can replace this and you can write the string here. So you can see n equals to 1, you take 0 to the power 1, 1 to the power 1. So it will generate 0, 1. I am taking 2, 0 to the power 2, 1 to the power 2, 0, 0, 1, 1. I am taking 3, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. So this is the way how you are going to be representing, the particular alphabets. So this is the first example, and you can go to the second example. So 0 to the power I, 0 to the power I slash 1 to the power j, 0 less than or equals to I less than or equals to j. So 0, I am having 0 to the power I, so we should not confuse at all, 1 to the power j. So 0, earlier I am having, for both 0 and 1, I am having a common integer n, but now you are having the two different integers, 0 to the power I, 1 to the power j. So 0 to the power 1 and 1 to the power j. So when coming to the value, I value, the language consists of the strings with some zeros. So it's a 0 less than or equals to I. So I may be, it may be greater than or equals to 0. Sometimes it may be 0 also, followed by many ones. Means you can see the z values. So z value is always greater than when you are going to be comparing with the I values. So you're satisfying the condition 0 less than or equals to I less than or equals to j. So you can take any value. If suppose I am taking I equals to 1, I am taking I equals to 1. So whenever you are taking I equals to 1, so you check the condition 0 less than or equals to 1 less than or equals to, now you need to define j. So j should be, it is greater than or equals to, means you can go with the element 2. So you can replace the value 0, next 1, 1. And the same way you can take, this is 2, means I am adding 3, or you may take 2 or 3. So you can take 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. So this is the W, this is W. So this is the string generated from the given information. So that's what we are going to be representing. So in coming to the some of the case study, when they are going to be identifying any kind of problems, so they are going to be concentrating, and here you are following strings. If it is for the one string, there is no problem, but we are going to be compiling the entire program. So when you are going to be discussing about the finite automata and the applications, we can have the more clarity on the particular things, but I will give you the introduction of it. So I am having a language. So the language, I am having a string, or you can take the words. So anything, whatever the programming language you are writing, the programming language contains so many number of words, and now I need to identify whether the particular words are in the language or not. That's what we are going to be doing now. The C compiler or Java compiler or any of the compiler, every compiler means every programming language is having some sort of methods to compile whether the particular given input is true or not. Means the particular input is accepted by the programming language compiler or not. C programming should follow To print the statement, I want to use only print. In C++, I cannot give this print statement, and in Java programming, I cannot give this print statement. I want to use the system.out.println. So you are going to be using the particular kind of information by stating how you are going to be producing the information. So you can see, so whenever you are going to be converting, if it is one word or two words, then there is no issue, but you are going to be using so many number of lines. So the programming language contains the so many number of lines. So when these lines, so each and every line and the tokens and informations, everything, so everything has to identify first, and it has to convert into the object language, and then it needs to show the output. So it has to convert into the object code, and then it has to execute it. So this makes a little bit difficult in the form of the efficiency. So whenever any of the machines we are going to be designing here, we need to remember the two important things. The first thing, you are going to be using the machine should be provide the best efficiency out of the machines existed. So that's you need to remember. And second thing, you are going to be using the proof by the contradiction. Means there are various methods are there to prove, just like direct methods, proof by direct, proof by indirect, contradictions like that. The one of the best method to prove the things to be is the proof by contradiction. So they are going to be finding the various kinds of problems in my what are the performance parameters, and then you are going to be modifying the machines. So here we need to observe only one thing, that I am having a words, and words are going to be whether my words are as per the language or not, and it has to execute, means it needs to convert the code into the object code, and then it's going for the execution. So whenever we are going to be designing any of the machines, you need to remember the two important things. You need to have the best efficient machines, and we need to identify the we need to prove the particular items by using a method proved by the contradiction. So you can see some more examples. So this is the string. You are having the alphabets zeros and ones. The first L equals to x slash x is in sigma star, and x contains an even number of zeros. So you can take here the condition only for the zeros, it has to even number of zeros. So when coming to the even number of zeros, they are not mentioned any order at all. So you can specify the condition anything like even number of zeros, odd number of zeros, x followed by at least one zero, x means x at least one zero, or y followed by at least two zeros, or a letter should start with 0, a letter should start with 1. Like this, you are having so many number of conditions like that. So here, based upon our condition, they are not mention anything about the 1. So you are having even number of ones. So whether the even number of zeros, you check the zeros, whether the zeros are in the even number or not. And coming to the second, 0, 1, 2 and so on 9, x is in sigma star, and x forms a finite length of real numbers. So you can take the real numbers. So you are having a set of real numbers 0, 1.5, 9.326 like this, and you check the condition whether your condition to be satisfied or not. And coming to the third, sigma equals to a comma b comma c, it's a combination of capital letters on the small letters. So you can take is only the letter you are going to be forming based upon your input values, means based upon the alphabets. So word you are forming depends upon the alphabets. So here you are having the alphabets A, B, C means lower letters, and you are having the capital letters. So x slash x is in sigma star, and x is a 3-letter word. So sigma star means it should contain all the possible values including null. Should contain all possible values including null. So sigma star, you need to provide the 3-letter word. So you can see the 3-letter words. You are given HAI and SIT. You are having HEN. So these are the 3-letter words you are having here. So these are the different examples. So like this you can form any of the language representations. And coming to the this is one of the other examples. So you can see this is a different kind of example. So when coming to this, so you can see the following rules describe a formal language L. So these are all the language rules. I'm having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rules. I'm having 5 rules. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rules. And for these 5 rules, you need to form a language for this. So what is the rules they are given, that you will go through the one by one. The alphabet sigma equals to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, place, comma, equals to. You are having the additionally, you are getting 2 more symbols. One is plus, second is equals to. You can see the rules. The first rule is every non-empty string that does not contains place or equals to and does not start with 0. So non-empty string means you are not having any strings. I am representing a string like this. You should not contain means in the particular set you should not contain any place or you should not contain equals, and the particular letters whatever the string representations they mentioned, that it should not start with 0. So our string, it should not start with 0. And next, the string 0 is in L. So already 0 it is mentioned, they consider it is already predefined in L. And third, a string contains equal, a string containing equal is in L if and only if there exactly one equal and it separates 2 valid strings of L. It separates 2 valid strings of L. Means you can use a string containing equal. So you can see this condition here, 23 plus 4 equal. So a string containing equal, this is the string containing equal is in L. So when you can say it is in L, there exists exactly one equal, means you should have only one equal, you cannot have 2 equals. So the first condition is true, and it separates 2 valid strings of L. So it separate the 2 valid strings, means 2 strings. The first one is 4 and second one is 555. It separates 2 valid strings. So equals to is separating, it's going to be separating the 2 valid string. First valid string is 4, second valid string is 555. So this is the next condition. And next, a string containing place but not equals is in L if and only if every place in the string separates 2 valid strings of L. So this is another condition. So a string containing place. So string it may contain a place, but it is not there equals to. So it's not there equals to. So if and only if a place in the particular string. So here I am having 1 place 2 3. So this is the string which is not containing the symbol equals to. If and only if place in the string separates 2 valid strings of L, means it is separated 2 valid strings of L, 1 plus 2 3. So is there another rule? Second, no strings in the L other than those implemented by the previous rules, means compulsorily whatever the strings or whatever the word you are specifying here, that should follow 1 2 3 4. So whatever the string you may form, the string should satisfy these rules. So you can see the next one, the two examples you have considered here. The first example, so you are taking the two examples here. The first example, 2 3 plus 4 equals to 555. So it is satisfying because a place or equals to, it is separated by the two different symbols, or at least two symbols, two valid strings. So when coming to the next, equals to 2 3 4 equals to place, it is not valid because whenever you are having the symbols equals to, they mention in the third rule you should have exactly only one. So you should maintain exactly only one, but here equals to 2 3 4 equals to place, so that you cannot say that the particular string, whatever the string you are represented here, this particular string is not belongs to the language. It is another way to represent a language or else about the particular thing. Words, when coming to the other properties, so whatever the properties we discussed in the last class, some of the additional properties are there. You see the first one, Kleene star. So it's a very simple thing that, so it is very important also. The Kleene star, sigma star, you can represent it as a sigma star, is an unary operator. It gives the infinite set of all possible strings including null, that what we discussed in the previous class. Sigma star equals to sigma place union, you can take null also, means sigma to the power 0 and so on. So that's what you are representing in the Kleene star, means you can see representation sigma star equals to sigma to the power 0 sigma union sigma to the power 1 union sigma and so on, means you are taking including the empty set. That's what Kleene star. And coming to the second, Kleene closure, so you are taking it as a plus value, that you are represented with the plus value. So Kleene star is represented with sigma star, Kleene closure represented with the sigma place. So whenever this you can see here in the representation of Kleene closure, sigma plus equals to sigma 1 union sigma 2 and so on, like this, means it is not included, is excluding null, is a alpha is representing the null, means empty set. So here representing the empty set, here representing the empty set. So you can take is excluding null values. So you can take the examples. So in the first set is a null value, is in the alphabets A comma B, A B A B B A B B, like this. And coming to the second, sigma place equals to sigma star minus null value, sigma star minus null value. If you defined alpha, you need to say that it is a empty set. Got it? So you can see the same elements, but you are not having the empty element here, minus empty, means the empty set you are not considering, and without considering the empty set you are going to be executing the particular thing, that you will call it as the additional properties. You can take some of the examples. Kleene closure, so this is the Kleene star, the star means it contains the null values. So the place you cannot see any null values here. The star, again you can see the null values. This is the star, again you can see the null values. Plus you cannot see the null values. So this is what the different examples you are having here. And coming to the some other additional examples. So additional properties, L1 and L2 are the two languages. How you are going to be applying over the sets, the same principle you are going to be using here. You are using the properties concatenation, insertion, complement, clean star, and the reversal of a word. So these are the different other additional properties are there. So the how you are representing in the sets, on the same way you are representing the properties here. So the intersection concatenations we already discussed. Intersection, the two common elements as entering in both the language, you are taking L1 and L2, L1 intersection L2. So that's all. What are the sets properties are there? You are going to be following the same sets property and you are representing the data. You can see the how you are going to be forming the all the operations. L1 union L2. So you are taking W belongs to L1 or W belongs to L2. So you are having the different properties like conjunction, disjunction, two properties in the discrete mathematics, conjunction and the disjunctions. You are taking the union operation, it's a disjunction operation, and you are taking the intersection. So W belongs to L1 and W belongs to L2, conjunction. So the complement is 0 becomes 1 and 1 becomes 0, that will call it as an complement. So in the two languages, there should be any common word in the two languages that you will take. Clean star and everything that you already discussed. Substitutions, you are going to be using the substituting the word, and homogeneous, the same kind of the representation, and inverse homogeneous in the form of a reverse word, you are taking the reverse word. So the different ways. So these are additional ways to represent the particular string properties. By using all the string properties, you can represent the string. So these are the problem. So I'm summarizing the session. So you are going to be defining the particular elements, and you identified the alphabets, strings, and generated the words, and from the words you are identifying the problem. A problem, it is defining or identifying whether the word is in the language or not. So whenever you are designing any machine, you need to find out the efficiency, and you need to prove the particular whether it is as per the representations or as per the performance parameters or meeting or not. That's what we are exactly learning from the particular class. Thank you. If you're having any doubts, you can comment in the comment section.